It's Coffee with Rob. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another fine live show on this Thursday, the 19th of June. How you guys been? What you been up to? Say hello, get your name in the chat. Today we'll have a look at the charts and have a look at what's been going on. We'll chat a little bit about, I know the title. Did you see the title? How to Beat the Market? Well, there is no answer to that, as you know. It's clickbait. Nah, just put it there because everybody thinks they can beat the market, but you know you can't. You can't beat the market. So there we go. Just thought I'd throw that in. So I kept the show at the same time. I kept the show at the 1400 GMT plus 2 because I know the Tuesday shows do go a little bit better at the moment, but I thought somebody said just before I shut off on Tuesday that, well, it's already quite early in the Americas and that sort of thing. So I thought, well, I'll just keep this show going at a later time of the day because it is already early on that side of town. So no worries. We'll keep this show running at this time just to keep everybody on board. And yeah, today we'll have the giveaway again, I believe, most likely. Why not? If there's enough people involved in it, I'll show you which video we're going to use for the comments. I just spin it and we get a comment out of there, and that person kind of wins a 2-step 10K challenge account. So there you go. If you're interested in that, then stick around and we'll be part of that. Today I'm going to show you also something that's been kind of bugging me on these funded account charts. And one of them is this, the difference between, sorry, not that, between that and that is it's two different accounts. And I just want to have a look at why, you know, that's the thing that makes the markets 50-50 as well, is these different brokers have different points of entry on their charts, and that can cause a lot of damage in a trade, and it can mess you around quite a lot. So we're going to have a look at that today as well, because that is a complication that it does also concern me a little bit sometimes. Hello, Eugene. HR gold, nice setup on the 4-hour, but got knocked out once already. And then Eugene, your trade was JAP 225. That one's in a loss at the moment. It's a little bit down, down $100. We're still in it. It hasn't taken the stop loss. Look how close it got to the stop loss. Huh? That's insane. Eh? Right on the stop loss. And then it broke down again. And then I took a New Zealand dollar, US dollar yesterday. And it looked good. It looked like it was going to go long there. It was pointing to the upside and it was in the trend, nice trend. And last night while I was napping, it broke down, took out the stop loss, poof, gone. So that one got taken out rather quickly. Germany 30, I was looking towards a short trade. There was a long trade on it, and then I was looking towards a short trade, but it hasn't played out yet. It hasn't really given us what we want. Australian dollar, US dollar is the reason that I haven't swapped the trade around on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar to the short side, because if I look at it, there is a strong support level running through there. CHF JPY has gone nuts. So Eugene, let's have a look at your Great British Pound CAD. Let me just type it in here. It's going to be easy. Great British Pound, Canadian dollar. Let's just see what we've got here. And you want to go long. You can, yeah, it's going long. It is heading along in that direction. But I tell you what, let's just do a markup on this chart and let's just see what we've got before we do anything. Sabria, good morning. How's it? Good show. I will have a look at gold in a moment as well. We'll check it out. I'm just going to mark this chart up quickly and oops, just see what we've got here. Quickly, because okay, so that's on the day chart now. I just want to see what we have here, if anything. It does appear to be a level along there. Okay, let me remove that. That's terrible. Let's change the color so we can do that. It's the only trouble with this particular charting package. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's just as bad. Let's try another color just for the hell of it. Yeah, let's try that one. Maybe that one will be better. I'm looking for a level down here. Let me see what we've got. If anything. Okay. Interesting. Alrighty. Take it back to the 4 hour. Let me take it back to the candles. Let's just have a look at what we've got here. And I also just want to see, yep, that looks pretty long. It's pretty long. Yeah, that looks like it could be a fair long trade. Great British Pound, Canadian dollar. It has broken off of this level here. Does look to be heading to the upside and giving you that familiar trade. Let's let it get above this high. If I look at this high over here, I'm going to draw a line in. Let's let it get above that high, and then maybe you can look for a trade just above that high. I think that's more likely what we're looking for. And then your other one is Great British Pound, Aussie dollar, Great British Pound, Aussie dollar. Do you like trading the Great British Pound? Very similar to the CAD. Very similar to the CAD. So there's obviously something moving on the Great British Pound. So you can use either one of the two, and it'll be a very similar long trade. Okay, US 500. It's kind of faltering, moving around. Looks like it wants to drop off, as does most of the others. So the JAP 225, we took it short. Not much happening there. Gold, we said we'd look at gold. Gold, what did you say about gold? Gold has a nice setup on the 4 hour, but got knocked out once already. Let's see what gold is doing. Gold is... Did I spill my coffee now? Don't do that. Okay, gold has broken through this trend support and looks like it wants to head short to the downside. I just want to pull this in a bit. Okay, let's just have a look at it. Let's just see what we've got here. Now it still looks like it really wants to, looks like it wants to break to the short side, but that candle is green at the moment. I'm just looking at that. There is a long tail here where all the buyers have got back in, and then there's a bit of a green candle. It's gone all the way up to retest, and then we've got all the sellers getting back in. So it's done a retest. So it does look like it wants to head on down and go short the setup. This is the 4 hour setup. So I wouldn't take a long on it right now. The reason I was a bit concerned about gold with the short is what's happening geopolitically in the world. Because normally when the world gets into these types of difficult situations, people buy gold as a safe haven. And what put me off is Brent is doing well. Brent is doing great based on what's happening in that area. Obviously, people are worried about the oil, but also gold should also be doing better. But it seems to be following the index, and it's been doing that for a couple of years. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of odd. It really shouldn't be following the US 500. It should rather be following its own value, and the value of gold should actually be picking up based on people are buying gold as a safe haven. So it's just a little bit of a concern to me. It looks short. You trade what you see, but I'm kind of looking at it, and the politics are in my head. They're like saying to me, "Oh, just watch out, Rob, because this is a possible trap here." You know. Ari says not much happening today. You know what the problem is, Ari, is Juneteenth. You know what's actually happening most of all, I think, is what I just said now, is people are really concerned about the geopolitics in the world. People are looking at this and thinking, gee, should I or shouldn't I? It is kind of a strange thing. If you look at this US 500, it's just sort of teetering around here. Now, I've seen this before so many times. When something's about to happen in the world, it just sits and sits and sits, and it's sitting in an area. It hasn't happened. It's going to happen rather suddenly. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen rather suddenly. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to go slow. I just wanted to have a look at the difference in these charts, because that was kind of just interesting me. And this is just kind of strange. If I look at the US 500 chart here, it is falling over, but it just kind of looks a little bit different to the other chart. That's what was... These different brokers have got their different levels. So, you kind of have to be careful. Where did I see it earlier? Yeah, the German DAX was the big one I was looking at. If you look at the German DAX and you look at this level, you've got a clear red candle, and then you've got a clear green candle with sellers coming back in. So that's a retest. And then you've got a clear red candle growing over here. That's the DAX on this particular broker. And this is why I say trading is never... Any system that you've got, trading's 50-50. Now, if we go back over to the other platform and we go to the DAX, you can see that what's missing is that green candle. It's not there. There's no green candle here. And I know that one says Germany 40 and one says Germany. It's the same thing. Exactly the same thing. They should be the same. They should be almost the same. So this is why I always call it to you guys, you're trading against human beings, and also in the markets, you get slight discrepancies. And those discrepancies can affect your trading in any given day. And that's why I always say, don't rely on the lines. The lines are not going to make you the money. The lines, what they're going to do, all the lines are going to do is give you a higher probability, to give you a probability of what happened in the past and what's going to happen in the future based on that particular chart that you are looking at. You've got to have a strategy in place. And for example, you take a trade and there's your strategy. You've got to take profit, you've got to stop loss, you know where it is, you know what you want to do. You've drawn a line in the sand, and that's as simple as it gets. The minute you move away from the strategy and you start trying to make systems work for you, if you start trying to make the lines make you the money, that's when you fall short 9 times out of 10. And experienced traders struggle with this. Experienced traders don't get over this. It keeps on catching you out. It's not an easy thing to get over. The only thing that's going to make you the money is a business plan and a strategy. The market's always going to be 50-50 no matter what you do. How's it, Elaine? Good to see you again. Super Earthman's here. Super Earthman. 5 a.m. here. I use my stocks closed today, but Chicago futures open. I trade mainly Nasdaq's gold, oil futures. Been a lot better with Rob, bits of good advice. So I'm glad it's working for you, Super Earthman. Was long on gold, but stopped out by that big red candle overnight, which is what happened to me on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So I suspect that the US dollar has caused our problem. You were obviously long on gold there, and you got the big red candle. I was long on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar there, and then we got the big red candles. It's, yeah, obviously something to do with the US dollar. Nothing you can do. That was while I was sleeping. You were probably awake. Okay, so I've traded Forex before I went to futures, but I like the busy few pairs on Forex. Not the lines, lol. How are you doing, Rob? Always good. Never complain. Not allowed to complain. It's against the rules. Okay, so yeah, no, not the lines. Yeah, we won't go on. We won't go on and on about the lines again. Come on, I'll stop. I'll try and. But I've got to get it over. I had a comment today. Somebody asked me they don't quite get the 50-50. You know, they understand that you need a business plan. They understand that the lines are separate from the business plan, but they still don't quite understand the 50-50. And like I say, I'm really trying very hard to get that across, that the lines are 50-50. If you take a trade on gold right now, whatever system you use on these lines is 50-50. And as I showed you now on the other chart, it probably looks slightly different. So when you take this trade, there's going to be an opposing trade. Otherwise, the market wouldn't be efficient. That's what makes the market 50-50 is whatever you decide. If you say, I'm going short on gold, there will be someone out there that wants to go long on gold that will take the opposite end of your trade. It's human beings, okay? And that person believes that gold's going long, and you believe that gold's going short. That's as simple as it gets. So any trade that you take on the lines is 50-50. Where your edge is in the strategy, your edge is in the business plan. Whatever edge that is. If it's the edge that I give you guys and the strategy I give you guys every single time, then that's your edge. If it's your own, that's fine. Then you've got your own edge. But the edge isn't about the lines. The edge is about how you manage that risk and how you make a profit at the end of the day. And obviously, you want to make more on your wins and less on your losses. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to play my business plan, which is I need to have a bigger target, risk to reward, for example. That's my business plan, okay? But some other people's business plan might be to take the trade at a 1-to-1 or a less than 1-to-1 and increase the trade, or just try and take more profits as they go, whatever the case. They might have a completely different business plan to what I do. As long as there's a business plan, as long as you have a plan that you're working towards that's going to work. And the plan doesn't involve lines. The lines are there to draw a line in the sand for you, to help you to manage your risk. So, for example, we're sitting here calling trades, and we're saying, oh, gold may be short. Okay, so we're calling a trade, and we're all sitting here calling that trade based on the lines. And you'll say, but then, then how can it not be, how can it be 50-50? No, we're calling a trade based on the lines, based on high probability, based on humans are creatures of habit, and what happened in the past will, in all likelihood, hopefully happen again in the future. We as human beings just feel much more comfortable having a line in the sand to say to us, that's going short because I have figured that out and I know that that's what's going to happen. Someone on the other side has got a different system to us, and he's saying this is going long, and he's convinced it's going long, and he's going to go through that whole process of he's right. And he's comfortable with his trade, and you're comfortable with your trade. You take the trade. Both of you have a 50% chance of winning. But now, all that both of you have got to do is manage your trade so that if you take 10 trades, that somewhere down the line, one of you is going to win, one of you is going to lose. But lose less, make more. US dollar, Canadian dollar, I'm a bit concerned about the long side of that trade. I'll have a look at it in a moment. But it does look a little bit iffy. Boom, 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 boom. I'll use the Aussie dollar, US dollar chart. And then let's just US dollar, Canadian dollar. I was looking at it earlier, and obviously wasn't looking at it on this chart. But anyway, okay, let's just do this. Do that. You see here, it has broken to the long side, but the risk to reward's not there. It's actually broken to the long side, and just want to see if I take a trend, how will it look? That's quite way off. It is biased to the long side, but it doesn't have much room to maneuver against its risk. But yeah, I was looking at it earlier. Not really, it's kind of neither here nor there. That's a real 50-50 trade. You can look at it and see if you want to go for it. How's it, Tyrell? I was being funny about the lines. Do you think? Just listen up. No, don't worry, Super Earthman. I get that. I get that. I also get that I do go on and on about it. But yeah, I go on and on about things because people don't understand them, because I'm a bit controversial with these things and a little bit different, because 99% of people believe in the charts. Let's be fair. And I really realistically don't. I realistically use them as a means to an end to choose my trades. Makes it easier for me to choose my trades. And then I just want to manage the trade. That's all. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. But most people won't find that comfortable because charts are really important to them. And they feel that somehow they're training against a computer or an algorithm or something. I don't know. But like I said, when I started trading, we didn't even have computers. So it's more clear in my mind than most of the younger guys, because the younger guys grew up with computers and they see robots. I don't. Behind every robot is a human being who created it. So if you see an automated trading program, you think, ooh, an automated trading program. This thing can't go wrong because it's automated. It's AI, it's artificial intelligence. Now, I don't dispute artificial intelligence is clever and it's good. It does a lot of things. I love it. Absolutely insane. But you have to understand one big thing. And the one big thing is this. There's a human being behind it somewhere, because robots don't live on money. There's a human being out there that's running that robot that's trading for you. He's programmed it. They're making money from it. They're doing something with it, and it's still a 50-50 trade, because when that robot buys a trade, somebody else has to sell it. Okay. Hi, WM Digital. Welcome. Please help me make $10 a day. You're asking the wrong guy. I'm not that guy. I can't help you make $10 a day. All I can do is show you what I do in the market. I can, nothing I say here constitutes financial advice. Most traders lose money. And if you don't like losing money, you should not be trading. In fact, let me show you the risk disclaimer so that you can see it. Look, read that. When you get time, go through that. Okay. I cannot tell you how to make $10 a day. I cannot tell myself how to make $10 a day. I can't, because I don't have a predictive capability. I don't have the ability to tell you what's going to happen in the future. But I can show you with my experience how the markets work, and how you need a business plan, and how you need a strategy, and how you can use these systems as high probability trades to your advantage, so that you can become a competent trader. I'm not here to make you rich. I'm here to make you competent. So if you can learn how to work with the markets. I mean, I know the title says How to Beat the Markets with Rob. And I wrote that for a specific reason, because I'm waiting for you guys that are going to come on here because you read that title, How to Beat the Market with Rob. Because I'm here to tell you that you cannot time the market. You cannot beat the market. It's not possible. No one can. everyone loses. Everyone loses at some point. The only way that you can beat the market, and there is a way, just by the way, the only way that you can beat the market is by time in the market. In other words, investing. Taking your money, putting it in, investing it in shares, and leaving it there, setting and forgetting it, and coming back to it in 30 years' time. You'll beat the market. You'll beat most investments. In fact, you'll beat the banks. So, you want to know how to beat the market? That's how you do it. You're actually not beating the market. You're just keeping time in the market, and the market's making you money. But to time the market and beat it, you can't beat it. You've got to have a strategy. The strategy will make you a profit by making more on your wins and losing less on your losses. That's the only way that you're going to be profitable. So I'm sorry, but I can't make you $10 a day. Can't do it. You know, this is C Trader, okay? This is from one of the links in the description. I think it's Funded Trader Markets, okay? That we got this one. Yeah, Funded Trader Market. There it is on the top there. Funded Trader Markets. This one, I put this account together so that you guys could trade it with me on the live shows. That was what it was meant for, okay? And then I got another one here that it's not of much bearing either, but is it there? Yeah, there's this one. This one's Trading View, and this one's FX2, I think, or something like that. It's also a funded market, okay? And yeah, it's nice. It's Trading View, and it's got nice little charts on it and all the rest of it, and it works pretty well. And then I've got on my cash accounts MetaTrader 5, and then I've got what's that thing with IG? I can't even remember what it's called. And then if you have some funded accounts, you have a thing called Match Trader, which is very poor, to be honest. So yeah, no, you can choose and chop and change and use whatever you like. This is actually not a bad one. This is actually quite a nice one to use. It's quite clean, the Trading View one, and yeah, why not? You know, it's fun, great to use. It's just charts. You know, if you're gonna have 100 screens on the wall with 5,000 charts and what, you're just gonna confuse yourself. I basically have always used 3 screens, and then effectively I don't even need to work on all of them. I just keep an eye on, when I come back into the office, just check what's going on, see what's happening on the charts, that sort of thing. No big deal. Do you need fancy stuff? No. You're trading. You can do it on a mobile phone. It's nice to have nice charts, and it's nice to have capabilities, but it depends if you use a lot of indicators or not. I don't use a lot of indicators, so it doesn't really matter to me which platform I'm using at all. The MetaTrader 5 feels a little bit old-fashioned to me these days in comparison to, you know, what's out there. Some of this C Trader is really nice. I actually quite like this C Trader. That's why I use it for the live shows with you guys. But the other one's also good. No, nothing wrong. It's difficult to say, you know, which one's better, which one's not. The challenge account that we actually have the giveaway on is kindly given to us by Fund Your FX, and what they do is they offer situation. Firstly, they only give you the Match Trader, which is pretty basic, and you can sort of put it over to Trading View and use it like that. But the other thing they offer is you can connect your MetaTrader 5 to their account, which I don't do because I have a cash account on my MetaTrader 5, and I don't want to confuse the issue anyway. WM Digital, can you guide for a good setup? Absolutely. I have around, I don't know, guys, how many videos have I got out? Hundreds, and they all give you a good setup. So just watch my videos. You'll be good. watch any of the videos. In fact, my last video gives you entry and exit points, and there's lots of videos before that. Lots of my videos give you lots and lots of good information on that. So if you want to go through the basics of the good setups and that sort of thing, go through the charts. It's price action, and it's going to give you all the answers you want. WM Digital, everything you're looking for is there. Believe me, there's lots and lots of information. Do you trade any crypto? I've only traded it. It's not really working for me right now. Would trading options or Forex be any different? Jeff, it's all the same. It's all the same. I mean, and crypto for me, I don't mind trading it. I'll trade it, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, and I don't invest in it definitely because I feel it's based on fresh air. So I'm not a big fan of crypto as such, but I'll trade it, but I'll only trade BTC, and I'll tell you why. Is because, well, that's Bitcoin, is because this crypto scenario, I noticed that when Bitcoin moves, they all move. So it's much of a muchness. So I prefer to trade the indexes and Forex and shares and that sort of thing. But yeah, I do have Bitcoin open to me at all times. I'll trade it if necessary. I'll trade it, but only if it's a really good setup and it's worth my while. But you can trade anything with this strategy. You can trade anything. You can trade any time frame. You can trade, and the strategy is obviously separate from the chart. So with the strategy, you can trade orange peels if you want to. It's just a question of managing your risk. So absolutely. And I would, particularly if you're new to trading, Jeff, if you're not like a seasoned trader that's been here for years and years and years and years, I don't know how long you've been trading. You don't have to tell us. But all I'm saying is if you're not that seasoned, I wouldn't recommend, I don't recommend anything anyway, but I would definitely not recommend trading crypto. Crypto is extremely, extremely volatile in normal circumstances, and then it's dead. And then it's volatile again. It's not a good thing for someone who's starting out. So if you're starting out, I would say what I did, I started on shares. It was great. And then I moved on to indexes. Indexes were the next best thing. And because you know shares, then you know indexes, and you know how the indexes are moving because you know the shares. And then you move from the indexes onto the Forex, and the Forex is quite volatile in comparison. You get used to that, and then you figure out that it's all the same anyway, and it becomes easy for you. And then you can trade anything. It doesn't really matter. You can trade commodities. You can trade commodities are easy to understand because commodities are cyclical, as we call it. They go up and they go down, and they go up, they go down. They don't go in a direction. Whereas if you're investing, you'd want to invest in an index because it goes up all the way, you know, just to give you that. Okay, HM was wondering if you have $2,500 capital and you somehow lose 10 trades, risking 1% each trade. So you're down to $22,500. Will the next trade risk be $250 or? Tywald, good question. I like your question. So Tywald's question is, if you have a $25,000 account and you lose $2,500, which is 10% of your account, would your next trade at 1% risk $225 or $250? So this is entirely up to you. But my feeling on the matter has always been, keep the account size the same. So if it has dropped to $22,500, I still keep my risk at $250 because I still consider my account as a $25,000 account, no matter what the loss or the win. And what you have to be careful of is trying to make it exactly $250 because it doesn't have to be. Sometimes you'll risk 220, sometimes you'll risk 270. That's okay. So when you're in that kind of range, there isn't much of a decision to be made. Kind of keep it around those levels, okay? That 250, so between 220 and 270. Keep it around that area. That's your loss level. It keeps your losses in that area. Try and keep your profits more. But when you get down to really low levels, then you have to reevaluate the account. So let's say you lost a lot of money and you're down to $15,000. I would definitely reevaluate the size of the account if I can't top it up, because then it's no longer a $25,000 account. You're at 15,000. You're going to have to really relook at if you've lost that much money. Just using that as an example, it could be in the 100,000s or whatever the case. So while it's a small amount, like a 10% loss or whatever the case, it's within reason. I'm still going to control it as a 25,000 account. Same goes for if it goes into a profit and it goes up to $30,000. Does it become a $30,000 account? Only if you want it to. Me, I don't want it to. I'd rather withdraw the $5,000 and leave the account at $25,000. That for me keeps the account at that size. I don't want to let the broker sit on my money anyway. But if I consciously decide I don't want this account to be $25,000 anymore, I want it to be $30,000, then the account becomes a $30,000 account, and I'll leave the money in the account based on that requirement from my side. But make a conscious decision about it, perhaps every 6 months. What size do I want my account to be? Okay, right. And then Benetrade asked me if I only trade on the 4 hours. These days, I only trade on the 4 hours. In the past, I made the mistake of trading on everything. But understand that I do use the other time frames for sniper entries. And if you go through my videos, you'll see that there is some information on that. Or to figure out, if a trade looks like every time frame is going in the same direction. Sometimes I will look for a better entry on a lower time frame. But barring that, let's just keep it simple. I trade on the 4-hour charts these days. In the old days, I did day trade and sit and watch charts all day like everyone else and trade on 5-minute charts and that sort of thing. And that's a complete waste of your time, because you spend all your time doing that and then you break even and you get angry with yourself because you're just wasting your time. 99% of traders lose money trading on 5-minute charts, just so that you know. And don't think that you're going to be part of the 1%. You know how few retail traders there are in the market? We do not make up the majority of the market. We as retail traders, and I'm a retail trader, you're a retail trader. The pros make up the majority of the market. The pros are the people sitting in those big banks, those big trading floors and things like that. They make up the majority of the money. So your money in this market is so minute, no one's going to worry about it. So, when you're day trading and you're sitting there and you're trying to make money off these 5-minute charts, and everybody goes in with fantastic views on how they're going to make money off the 5-minute charts, and I'm just going to work for an hour and take $200 or take $20 or whatever the case. And then what happens is you end up losing, like I've said before, and then you end up following the losses. You end up losing more and more and more and more. And when you said you were going to sit there for an hour or 2 hours and trade, and that was it for the day, you end up sitting there for 12 hours because you're trying to get that money back, because it just gets worse and worse and worse. You can think for yourself how that works. How's a trade? What I don't understand, a trade is always 50-50. Okay, so Super Earthman, you see, there's the question again. What I don't understand is a trade is always 50-50. This is from Hangzam. So I'm going to go into the lines again. Give me a sec. I'll be with you in a sec, Hangzam. I'm going to answer your question. David, how's it? Tywald, I see. Hey, David. Benno Trade. Yes, watch them all. Make very nice, clean trading. You do. Okay, so Benno Trade, stay with us and just keep watching the videos. I'm trying to make the videos as clear as possible so that you can become a competent and a good trader. Sorry, man, I can't make you a couple of bucks every day. I wish I could. But you have to be able to learn to do it yourself as well. Hi, Eugene. How are you? I'm good, David. You right? Okay, cool. Right. So here we are. Hangman, what I don't understand, a trade is always 50-50. Okay. So the reason I call a trade 50-50. Super Earthman loves the lines. The reason I call a trade 50-50 is because every single trade that you take is probably, I'll say, against another human being. There could be a robot trading in the market. Granted, but behind that is a human being anyway. So I'm going to say another human being. Now, what you have to understand is you have to take these charts that you see in front of you here, this is the US 500, and separate it completely from your edge. Because your edge is in your business plan and your strategy. It's not in these charts. Not at all. Okay, so I'm going to go to the trade that we have on the go here, which is the JAP 225. I'm going to just say this is a chart. Now, we take a trade based on a price action system that we've decided on. And we've decided that the JAP 225 is trading in a range. And we decided that because it's trading in that range and the red candles were, showing to the downside, that we would take a short, and that has kind of gone against us a little bit, and so on, and we follow it on. Why is a trade 50-50? Well, because every single trade you take here, we made a decision based on what we see on the charts here. That's our system. We look at the system. Now, you can take the trade with no system at all. Blank chart. There can be a completely blank chart on here with nothing on it. Unfortunately, there isn't a completely blank chart on here. But if there was, you could take a chart, a trade with a completely blank chart on here. But what you have to understand is that the chart gives you the ability to put this in place, to manage that stop loss, to manage that take profit. And this is your plan. I'm going to have a stop loss. My stop loss is I'm only going to lose $250 or less. And my take profit is I'm going to make more than that on my take profit. Now, when I take that trade and I say this is going to go short, it went the other way. Do you know what? There was a whole bunch of traders out there that knew that had decided that this was going long, while we decided it was going short. Now, for the market to be efficient, everyone can't be on the same side of the trade. It's impossible. If everyone was on the same side of the trade, it would be a flat line like that, a straight line, and it would be on zero. That's just how it is in trading. So what you have to understand on the lines is for every trade that you take, you want to buy, somebody wants to sell. There's an opposing trade. There's another trade working against your trade. Whatever system you've got, whatever edge you think you have, there's always going to be someone else in the market that believes they're right and you believe you're right. And that's why there's a market. It's called trading. That's why it's called trading. Buy and sell. You both believe you're right. It makes the market 50-50. Your chances of winning in that market are 50%. Your chances of market in that 50%. So even us sitting here and there's a chat going on and we're in a live show, even us sitting together here chatting, I can guarantee you that not everybody on this chat will agree with my notion that the JAP 225 is going short. Some of you will think it's going long, because that's how markets work. Your edge is in the strategy, and the strategy is your business plan. Now, you can have your own business plan. You don't have to use my business plan. But my business plan is simple, and that is to risk 1% on every single trade, the same amount on every single trade, not different amounts, and to try and make more on the wins. Because if I toss a coin 10 times, it'll land on tails 5 times, it'll land on heads 5 times. That's another 50-50 scenario. But if I gave you 2 for every tails and I took 1 for every heads, I don't know anyone who wouldn't choose tails, because the odds are in your favor. Because even if you only win 3 times, you're still going to be in a profit. So the idea is to keep your edge separate from the charts. The charts are to measure your stop loss. The charts are to measure your entry point. Where am I going to enter? Where am I going to exit? That's all they're for. They're the high probability. I know everybody likes to think that the charts are going to give them a win. But the only way you can win is by managing the trade and psychologically getting it right. Anyone can take a trade. And if I give you a demo account, you'll probably have an insanely good win rate and you'll probably do quite well. But if you suddenly have to trade real money, that will all change quite quickly because you'll be in and out of trades in all the wrong places. So your edge is not in the chart. Your edge is in your sort of strategy business plan. The 50-50 is you have to understand that every single trade that you take is against someone else, and it's 50-50. You can take all the lines off the chart. Do this experiment for yourself. Take a demo. Take a demo. Don't use your real account. Take a demo. 1 week on that demo, trade with no lines. Trade with no strategy. Use a strategy, but trade with no indicators whatsoever. Just a blank chart. Trade for a week. And then the following week, but use the strategy. Use the strategy, but don't use the system. Just take a blank chart and say, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to sell that, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to sell that, without any indicators. And then the following week, use your system, whatever it might be, this, whatever. And see how much difference there is. You know what? You're probably going to have zero difference in your trading. You do it for a day. Do 1 day with and 1 day without and see what it looks like. You'll be shocked and stunned. Just use the strategy. These lines just make you feel more comfortable. That's all they do. So just getting to the breaking stage, but like scalping still rather than swings on indices. Thanks, mate. I'll stay for sure. I've lost in the DAX. Very nice, no stress. Trade well done. Many times red in a row. You start betting black and wonder how no money left because red came 30 times in a row. Nothing different at 50-50 and what it is. Okay, so, you know, it takes a bit of time to understand why it's 50-50 because you've been led to believe that you're going to win more times than you lose on a chart. Now, I see Benno Trade says he's scalping. So what you got to be careful of with scalping is you must have a strategy even if you're scalping. Because if you're scalping, I've done scalping. Believe me, I've done it. And I've traded on 1 minute charts thinking that I'm cleverer than the market. And the trouble with it is you have, like I've told you guys before, you do 8 trades. You win 8 trades in a row because it's scalping. It goes green. Oh, you're out. It goes green. The trouble is you make $10 on every one of those 8 trades, which is $80. And on the 9th trade, it goes into loss. Now, being a scalper, you're not going to want to take a red trade. You always want a green trade because you're a scalper. So you're going to watch it go more red, then you're going to dollar cost average it, then you're going to move the stop loss away, and you're going to lose $1,000 on the 9th trade. And then you're going to wonder why you're $920 down. It's because you're scalping. You need a proper strategy. It's because you believe that the lines are going to make you a profit. But you can scalp even without the lines. I mean, it's like in and out, in and out, in and out. But the trouble with being a scalper is you always need a green trade because your profits are so small. And often you can't make up those losses when they come. No. There was a question here. Do you consider strategy jumping using the same strategy to changing the main time frame? No, that is fine. You know, you must just make a conscious decision what time frame you're trading on. Keep the same strategy. You can change the time frame if you like. That's not a problem. So keep your risk the same. Keep your strategy the same. Follow the same principle. And if you decide, I'm better at the 1 hour than the 4 hour, then trade the 1 hour. That's fine. Or I want to trade the 15-minute or whatever. Just remember, the lower you go with a time frame, the more the risk increases. Down on the 5-minute, the risk is up here, and at the 4-hour, the risk is down here. Okay, so the risk increases the faster it goes, and it's generally because the information that you're seeing in front of you on the chart here, all this information on a 5-minute candle is insanely unreliable in comparison to a 4-hour. This is 4 hours of information. If I take it to a day, that's a day of information that's in there. There's a whole day's information. Take it for 4-hour, there's 4 hours of information in there. Take that to a 5-minute, and it's 5 minutes of information. So the information that you're getting on the lower time frame is that much more unreliable, and also the risk is that much higher based on also the amount of points that you're going to be trading. So in other words, if I put a stop loss up here, there's a lot of space between my cost and that stop loss. The chances of me getting taken out are a lot less than if I'm on a 5-minute and I'm playing on 5 pips or 10 pips or something like that, because that's going to move in seconds. Look at that tail on this candle, for example. That tail on that candle on the 5-minute chart will have moved an insane amount. Look at that. That's that tail on the 5-minute chart from there to there. So you would have been stopped out of that trade, you would have lost the money, and you would have been gone. On the H4, it's just a tail, and it's coming down, and that's all it is. I'm kind of hoping that makes some kind of sense to you. But yes, you can change the time frames with the same strategy. You can just use the strategy. The strategy works on any time frame. It works on any product, and that is the whole point of it. Is it's a strategy. It's a strategy to make profit. The system you can also use on any time frame, and you can use on any product as well. Okay. Just see. I understand your point about the lines aren't making you money, but don't the indicators provide you with more insight into a certain aspect of your trading? It can provide you into assist price action. I think the lines and indicators technicals are really for risk management. Good point, and I agree with you completely. So Rick, that's exactly what Shane said. So you guys are on the right track here. The lines that we use are to give us the high probability, because it makes us comfortable, and it also we know that humans are creatures of habit. So we're looking at repetitive moves in the market. That's what we're looking at. So we're looking for the same thing to happen as what happened before. But what it does, it gives us the ability to manage that risk. So if we decide to take a short here, we can look and we can put a couple of lines in place, and we can figure out exactly where we need our stop loss because of support and resistance or trend lines or whatever other system you might be using. You figure out that's where I want my stop loss, and that's where my risk to reward is, because there's a big reward here. If I take this short, it looks good. It looks like I can make a lot of money here. And then you can take other factors into account, like the geopolitics and what have you that are going on in the world and how they're going to affect your trade, etc. So the lines are only there for you to figure that out, to figure out where do I want this, where do I want to put this stop loss, where do I want to put this take profit, and that's my trade. And then you can walk away from it and just manage it based on your strategy at the end of the day. So the lines are there to help you take the trade. So like I said to you, you can take the trade with no indicators whatsoever, and you can do that experiment, and you'll see there won't be much difference. It's just that if I give you a blank chart and I say to you, you know what, Rick, you know what, Shane, choose a direction. Do you want to buy or sell? You'll agree with me that it's going to be, in most cases, a wild guess. It's going to be difficult for you to give reasons behind your choice. You say, well, the chart looks like it's going that way, so I'm going to buy. Does it work? Don't know. Just have to see. But if you have some lines in place, if you have some price action, and you have some things drawn in and support and resistance and some trend lines and that. It gives you that comfort in your mind when you're taking a trade. It gives you that comfortable feeling in your heart that you're right and that you believe it's going to go that way. The person who's on the opposite side of that trade might have a completely different point of view and a completely different system, which is why they're selling it to you. That's as simple as it gets. They ran across your channel a couple of weeks ago, aptly named, friend. This is logical. I can trade. I have an edge. Strategy. The building the system itself has become the mission. We need a monitor which shows us US 30 seconds into the future to scalp profitable. You know how many people have thought of that nature? We've all dreamt of having another monitor over there and another monitor over there, which is just a few seconds in advance, and this one was just behind it, so you can quickly take a trade here and grab it there. Yeah, we've all dreamt of that, let me tell you. And I often, when I was younger, I used to wonder if the pros don't perhaps have that, because they do have an advantage in time on the trade, by the way. It's a split second, but they have an advantage on the trading floor over us, just by the way. And also, a lot of these trades are not even on the floor. They're just at the broker, particularly with these funded accounts. These are not even on the floor. So, yeah. I found that being generous with stop losses helped me. Absolutely, Eugene. I've also found that sometimes you need to open your stop losses, sometimes you need to close them up. Just depends on the year and what's happening. I found that this year, a lot of traders are actually having a bit of a tough year. It's a bit of a struggle. So that probably comes with the way things have been going and the things that have been happening this year, and the tariffs and the geopolitics and all that sort of thing. Been messing people around a little bit. Best is to, when you see that, what I did when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm having a bit of a tricky year here. Let me just move the stop losses out a little bit further. Who was it that said to me so many years ago when I was younger that when you take a trade, don't take it there, take it where you wanted your stop loss. You know, that sometimes can be interesting. For example, it would have worked on the JAP 225. Take the stop loss, take the trade from where the stop loss would have been. But I learned from that in the sense that, okay, you know what, just keep the stop losses just a little bit further out than where you think the orders are going to be. So this trade is a good example, actually. It's an amazing example. I would have actually put the stop loss in the old, earlier in the year, I would have put the stop loss right above those highs, or much closer to this resistance. I would have put it just outside of it, and we would have got taken out on stop loss. What did I do? I moved the stop loss out quite nicely to a round figure a bit further out, and luckily it didn't get taken out. It was close. It would have, see, it looked for all those orders up there, took them all, and then came back. And luckily for us, ours was just far enough out to survive that. It happens. And this year I have actually myself moved the stop losses out just a little bit further away, a little bit more gap, just a little bit more. So very much similar to what Eugene's done myself, just the stop loss is the same, not that tight, but just give them more space, give them a little bit more. The soft stop shown, you mentioned here you've got the hard stop, which is wide, and the soft stop, which is psychological. Everyone's got the psychological soft stop. And that for me is, I'm looking at a trade, it hasn't hit stop loss, and I'm looking at a trade and I'm seeing it going pear-shaped, and I'm seeing it going wrong, and I'm listening to things that are happening in the world, and I'm thinking, I'm on the wrong side of this trade. And even though it was a $250 stop loss or $1,000 stop loss or whatever it might have been, and you're only $50 in or $100 in, I look at it sometimes and say, cut it. walk away, cut this and walk away, get out. Sometimes it'll even be like at $6 or $10. Just cut it, just get out. This doesn't look right. It just doesn't feel good. And that sometimes pays off as well. So Shane, everyone should have that psychological stop loss. Cut the losses. They're small losses. Cut them. Get rid of them. Follow the winners. Those are the ones we're looking for. Okay, not time to start it. Which trading platform did you use when charts became available? Thanks. I can't remember what it was called, David. It was supplied by the brokers. It was very fancy. We had two different ones actually, and one was for the stocks, for the shares and the indexes and that sort, and the other one was for futures. Okay, so we had a different platform for futures and a different platform for the CFD shares and that sort of thing. Two completely different platforms. And when we first got onto computers, I presume we're talking about here, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. And it was provided by the broker, and it was completely online. You couldn't like download an app or anything like that. It was on. Was it even Google then? I think it was. And mind you, I can't remember what it was called, but I suppose it was Google, and it was on there, and that was it. Or I would sign into the brokerage account, and the charts would come up there, and everything would be there. I remember that now. It was way, way back when. And then I had another account. I can't even remember the name of the company, and they provided a platform like this. I can't remember what that was called either. It was a fantastic program. What's that called? Oh, such a long time ago. I've gone through so many platforms in my years and in the old days, we didn't really worry about what they were called. They were just like, oh, that's what the broker's giving us. That's great. But what did those guys give me? Those guys went bankrupt, that particular one that gave me. That's such a nice platform. Gosh, I can't remember the name of that either. Long time ago. I actually might have it still noted. You won't see this, but I'm just going to have a look on my hard drive here if I can still see on my backups what it was called. But it was a long, long time ago. Oh, that was a long time ago, man. Just having a look here quickly to see if I can see it. Interesting stuff. Probably under here. ART Trader. That was one. That was one of mine. Yeah, ART Trader. I actually still got the backup here. Can you believe it? That's a long time ago. Yeah, ART Trader was the one that broker went bankrupt though. But that was a fantastic program. That was good. Good. But I mean, they would have been outdated by now for sure. They would have been completely outdated. I appreciate answering my question. It's quite hard for me to grasp still, but the line of logic does make sense. I've also read the same thing from Mark Douglas. Just wondering, do you share your P&L statements or do you keep it private? Thanks, Rob. On these what you call it, accounts, funded accounts, sure, you can go mad with it. On my personal accounts, there's a reason I keep that private. A security reason, and that you guys will never see. Because the public, I don't want the public looking at my bank accounts and all that kind of, it's got nothing to do with anyone. That is dangerous. But yeah, this stuff you can look at and you can see how the trades go and come and go and that sort of thing. That doesn't matter. But for you, that really shouldn't be the important thing. What should be the important thing is you should be watching or learning from a number of people and understand this, that no matter what anybody shows you, it could be right or wrong. And it might work for them, it might not. But what you got to understand is that it's you must pick out what works for you. In other words, you've seen what the markets are about. You've seen what's out there. Now, instead of worrying about everyone proving to you that, oh, yeah, we made R1 billion or whatever the case, rather pick out the stuff that's going to work for you. Say, this works for me. I've tried it and this works for me. Do some testing, do some checking for yourself and see if it works for you. And if it seems to work for you, and if the strategy seems to work in your favor, then use it. And I don't say use my strategy or use my price action system. What I say is pick out the bits that work for you and pick out the bits that work from someone else, because I know you all watch everyone else as well. It's not just me. And grab those bits and work with them and put them all together. But the difference between me and the other guys is I'm not telling you you're going to make $1 million. What I'm telling you is I can help you become competent here, and I'll do what I can. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to make the money, and you're probably going to lose. I keep telling you guys this. It's most people lose, and everybody thinks they're going to be in the winning side, but most of you lose. Most people lose in the markets, and it's because of the psychology, and it's because of the mindset, and it's because people can't separate the lines from the strategy and the business plan, mostly. But yeah, no, unfortunately, no. My cash account, that is, no, most certainly not. I won't even tell you what my house is worth. No, you can have a look at a picture of it if you like, but that's about it. Good. Okay. You know, I know that there's a lot of guys out there, like, you know, trying to push this P&L statements and all that rubbish, and that's not going to help you. I mean, most of the ones that you do see online are faked anyway. A lot of rubbish. And what did I just do? Hopefully I didn't buy that. I was clicking around on the charts here, and I just bought this Great British Pound Canadian dollar. How much of it did we buy? Oh my goodness. Serious amount. Tell you what, let's just dump it. There we go. It's actually a profit. I actually accidentally bought it. Can you believe it? That's okay. No problem. I got out of it with $6. I didn't want to buy it. Oh gosh. Imagine that. Yeah. You know, being on YouTube to help people actually doesn't mean that we have to share all of our private lives and finances, and it also doesn't mean that we should be abused in any way and that sort of thing. I see that a lot, and I see it as a big problem. I see it as a big issue in the markets. You know, people come out there to try and give their advice and try and help here and there. Look, I know some guys out there are only out there to sell a course. I get that. But, you know, you come out there, you put yourself out there, and, you know, you expect, a lot is expected from you. And I don't see why that should be. And my opinion is this is an entertainment channel, and it's an entertainment platform. So, like, for example, YouTube is a media place to go and watch videos. And if you're interested and you want to watch, then you watch. And if you're not interested and you don't want to watch, then you don't watch, and you go and watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show or something. I don't know. It's totally up to the person at the end of the day. So let me see. This platform. Oh yeah, we still got to do the draw. I forgot about the draw. Okay, guys. I'm just gonna go over to here, and we're gonna go and I'm just gonna. Uh-oh, that doesn't look good. But we'll go there and try and see what's gone wrong here. Try and reload that, because that was the news, but that's not what we're looking for. It doesn't matter. That's just Okay, there we go. It's back. Top US officials draft plans for weekend strikes on. Oh, no, that's terrible. Oh, the news is inside out. Okay, so the video that I'm using, look at that nice picture. The video that I'm using is inside the mind of a Forex trader. Are you crazy enough? So I'm going to use this video, and then whoever's got a comment on that video, the comment will come out here and we'll pick a winner to win a 2-step 10K challenge account sponsored by these guys, Fund Your FX. Okay, there is a link in the description. If anybody wants an instant account, you can get it there. I'm testing out their $100,000 instant account. I've got one of those too. Unfortunately, it doesn't want to come up on my system here. Tried last week. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna take a random comment, and then it's a giveaway. So somebody's gonna get that again. Every Thursday somebody gets that. So if you want to sort yourself out, I'll give it 5 minutes, and inside the mind of a Forex trader, are you crazy enough? We'll take one of the comments from there, and somebody will win a giveaway. That's it. I'll come back to that in just a wee moment. For the time being, we'll continue on our merry. Actually, that's what I wanted to do before I did that. I wanted to do, actually, just have a look at these charts. I don't know which charts you guys prefer, a C trader or this. This is Trading View. And Trading View, yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting little charting package. I like it, actually. It's not bad. Used it before. And actually, I've been using it for a long time. But yeah, it's not bad in comparison. MetaTrader 5 has fallen behind a little bit. It's a little bit behind the systems. You know, you can't work out your profit and loss as easily as we used to be able to. Thanks, Rick. That's a nice comment. You appreciate me not trying to sell you anything here. I trade the 12-hour, but often get signals from my strategy on the bar close. I made a wedge or triangle. Do not try to trade inside those pattern shapes, but on the break. But should I take them straight away? Often get signals from my strategy on the bar close inside a wedge or triangle. You should take the trade. Morgan, you say you trade on the 12-hour, but if that's your strategy, if you're trading on the 12-hour, remember what the lines are doing. Remember, the lines are giving you that ability to manage the trade, that ability to choose where your risk is going to be. So if you see a trade, this is something that traders struggle with. If you see a trade, take a trade. Take the trade if you see a trade. If you want to take, if you're looking for a trade and you see a trade and it's there and it's glaring at you, take it. Go for it. Nail it. It's going to be 50-50 either way. Just manage the trade, manage the risk. You are going to lose some. Understand that you're going to lose some, and then work it from there. And then you'll be fine. Trade indices. Indices are good. Indices are good. And yeah, MetaTrader has become, it's unfortunately for me, my main cash account is on MT5. And that's what my broker gave me, MT5. And I suppose I could use it into Trading View, but why would I pay for something if I don't need it? I don't even use all the indicators and stuff. But it has become kind of tired and old, and it needs updated. It really does. They need an MT6 or something. I don't know, but they need to do something with it. It's really, it's tired out. Or my broker needs to move it to something else. But yeah, it's pretty old, pretty basic. You know, when I'm choosing the size of a trade with these little accounts and whatnot, it's fun. You know, you can like work out what your stop losses and all that. With MT, you just got to know the size of your trade. It's saying they're so far behind. Clint Eastwood, do you feel lucky, punk? I like that, HR. Okay, so Super Earthman, do enter a comment on inside the mind of a Forex trader. Are you crazy enough? So that's the video. Okay, go, nail it. I'm going to do the draw just now, so as they say, make it snappy. I'm going to start working my way back over there so that we can do that. Put it back on there. Let me change this one to the news. There we go. Find our way over here. Boom, 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 boom. Was it only 3 days ago? I thought it was more than that. But okay, I just chose that one because it had a pretty Ferrari in it. But anyway, a 20 billion clock is ticking for OpenAI as Microsoft talks to infractions. Wall Street looks past the blah Fed meeting. US futures slide as Middle East escalation risk mounts. Oh, this Middle East thing is going to be a difficult situation. You know, guys, it's not a good time to keep trades over the weekend as well. Do yourself a favor and don't hold trades over the weekend if you can help it. Look, on the funded accounts, you can take a chance. It doesn't matter. You're just going to lose the account. But on your cash account, just remember, if you take a trade either way and you hold it over the weekend and you come back on Monday morning and it's lost $200,000 and you've only got $100,000 in the account, they're going to call you and they're going to want that money. And if you don't have it, you're in deep trouble. So don't get yourself caught up in that with leverage trading. With one-to-one investments, no problem. It can go to zero. That's as far as it can go. But with leverage trading, if it goes through your level, they're going to want that money. There's no such thing as a guaranteed stop over the weekend. Oops, typo. SpaceX's Starship blows up ahead of the 10th test flight. Did it? Oh, okay. Wall Street braces for sharp sell-off if the US enters conflict. So you see, if the US is going to enter this conflict, we're starting to talk about some serious moves on these things. So I should actually consider shorting everything. Okay, no, that's from your FX. Where's the video? It's this video. Okay, so I'm going to take this, copy, and I'm going to put it in here. Paste. That's the video, and we're going to do the draw. So I hope you guys are going to be ready for that. Let's see. Okay. We're going to fetch a draw. We're going to have a winner. It's 3:15. I guess somebody's got to get it. I hope you're here on the live show, whoever you are, and whoever's going to get it. And good luck, everyone. Cross your fingers, Super Earthman. Good for you. Do you know, Rion, you said love cars, Rob. I grew up with cars, and my first job was actually, when I had a job, was in engineering and looking after dealerships and things like that in the country. I used to look after 250 dealers in the country for a motor company, and I watched the Formula One every second week, every week, whatever, whenever it's on. So yeah, I kind of like cars. And I've kind of, I calculated the other day how many cars I've owned in my time, and you wouldn't believe me, so I won't even tell you, because it's a huge sum, different cars. Okay, crossing fingers. Yeah, you all ready? Let's do this. Okay, anything goes. Okay, just remember, guys, the rules are simple. If it's a cynical comment, which is nasty to me, that's going to get a thrown out. And if it's a bot, it's obviously going to get thrown out. Rion. Yeah, I started my career with Nissan, Datsun as it was known back then, and then it became Nissan. Righto. I love VWs, by the way. Totally one of the best cars ever. I owned a few, but yeah, every one that I owned was 100%. Okay, let's go for it. Ready, steady. Pick the comments. Pick a winner. Beyond Limits 2001. Which one of you is Beyond Limits 2001? Congratulations. You are the winner. I'm going to reload this so I can see who that is. Beyond Limits 2001. Let's go and see who that is. Okay. Bom, bom, bom. Okay, there it is. This is the person. Beyond Limits 2001. Well, you got it. Not sure if the person is here or not, but Beyond Limits 2001. I shall get back to that in just a moment, and I'll send a message. They are the winner today. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so we shall definitely, if you're here Beyond Limits 2001, please let me know. If not, then I'm going to hope that I'll be able to get hold of you on your email or something like that, if there's one available. Because I've noticed on the YouTube channels, a lot of guys don't put their details, and then I can't really get hold of them from my side. But if I can, that'll be a great, great help. Okay. You guys have all gone quiet since you didn't win. Oh, no. Damn, lol. Yeah, next time. Okay. I do believe we'll probably have another one next week, so don't worry. They keep sponsoring it to me, so it's fine. And I'll just give it to you guys. Okay, so let me just see, where is that thing? Rules FX, there we go. Okay. Go. There you go. Beyond Limits is here. Fantastic news. Congratulations. Well done. You've won the two-step 10K challenge account. Corey will contact you and he'll give it to you. I'm going to just give you this information. Copy. If you could please just send me an email on that information, with that information, then I can give it to them. They can create your account and sort it. It normally takes 24 to 48 hours. So well done. That's great news. I love it when you guys are here when you win. That's the best, because that's great. That's always the best. Fantastic news. Thanks, man. Good. Okay, so you got that message from me. That's what you got to do. There's my email. Just drop me an email and I will sort it out for you. There you go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's great. So there you go. You can play around with that account. I know, I think Shepper lost his. He blew it. But I mean, it's only a 10K account, so it's fine. It's a challenge, two-step challenge account. So, but have a bit of fun with it. I mean, especially for guys that aren't seasoned traders, it's good. You can get a bit of practice with it. You're working towards something, and it's a full-on account. So if you win, you go to the first stage, and then you get the money-making part of it. So that's great. That's always great. That's what I love to see. Now, where am I? Over here. Okay. Now, I haven't taken any other trades, eh? Great British Pound CAD. I did take the Great British Pound CAD. Oh my, what a trade. Yeah, okay. Where's the history here? Okay, so that trade that I accidentally took just now actually made us $6.12. Not bad, eh? Not bad at all. Last night's loss was 232. That's a bit of a nasty one. when that happens. And we're 72 bucks down on the Jap 225, the Nikkei. Great. Everyone's leaving. I think they only came to win, so it's okay. It's all good. No worries. No worries at all. I'm glad somebody won the thing, and it's always good. So how do you beat the market? You don't beat the market. You can't beat the market. No one can beat the market. It's time in the market if you want to beat the market. Try not to press the buy button again, Rob. Okay, I'll try. I'll definitely try not to press the wrong buy button again. Yeah, trading is 50-50. Random clicks to trade. Yeah, you know what? I probably should have left it. The trouble is the trade was not measured whatsoever. So there's no strategy in there, nothing. So, I mean, it's just a huge trade. I don't even know if it's like within our limits or not, blow the account, whatever the case. So, no, we're not going to do the random thing. I'm just sitting here clicking on things and I clicked the wrong button. Totally. If stop loss set. So Rob, will you enter on Nikkei if stop loss hit? Look here. If the stop loss gets hit, then you accept the stop loss, and you kind of like look for a new trade. If it hits the stop loss, trade is gone. Will I take a long and swing the trade at that point? Because that's what swing trading is. This is position trading. No, I'm positioned. I take the loss, and I'm not looking to swing the trade around because that doesn't work either. I used to swing trade, and the trouble with swing trading is it's a bit like revenge trading. So it gets to that point, and you think, well, I'm going to swing it the other way and go the other way with it and get my money back effectively. And right at that point, swings around and goes back. I mean, this is a good case and example. This trade, we go short at a level here. It goes in our favor a little bit, and then you get these long green candles that shoot up while I'm sleeping. And then it goes all the way up to the stop loss. It breaks through the resistance level completely. It goes all the way up to the stop loss, which I put really far away. And at that point, had they taken the stop loss out, you say, oh, I want to buy it because it's going to go the other way. And then look what it did. It's a long tail straight down all the way. Now, luckily for us, it didn't take out the stop loss, but it was really close to doing that. And had you turned or swung the trade long, you would have been in a bigger loss than where you started. And that's what I always say is it doesn't work that way. So the best thing that you can do is position it. You've got a position. If you lose the position, you walk away from the position, and we live to fight another day. Look at this one, for example. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. This was my trade. And I took it long, thinking it's above the trend support. Looked good, green candles, everything was great. And it just went against us. It went up, all the way up there. And I wasn't awake when this happened. That's the trouble with trading currencies that are way out of my time zone. This happens. While I was sleeping, obviously news events hit, and this went crashing down, went crashing through the support, which had I been awake, I would have seen, but okay. And it took out my stop loss, which was way down here. And, you know, if you're a swing trader, you'll go, oh, you must go short now. Well, it's not doing much, is it? It's taking your stop loss out all the way down here, and now it's just sitting here at that exact level, doing nothing. Probably going to go back up to retest, and you'll get a nice short, and you can go down. A new trade completely. So I say, look at a new trade. Don't get stuck on the old trade and try and work with the old trade. It's just going to make things difficult. Boom, 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 boom. So you're a position trader now. You normally only trade one pair at a time. Since you use it for hour, do you enter multiple time frames? Hangson, I use multiple time frames quite frequently. To be perfectly honest with you, it's better to use multiple time frames to get your information as such. Just want to see. I need to know if that email is coming through. I just want to check, make sure. Email. Get that going. Yeah, so yeah, I was saying, okay, so put it onto the right email. There we go, new markets. I'll make sure, just in case I get the email through, then I can sort that out. Okay, great. Perfect. I didn't have that up. That's the main thing. So, do you only use a pair at a time since you use it for hour? Do you enter multiple different trades? Obviously, I enter multiple different trades. I've had at stages more than 25 trades on a go, and other stages, no trades on a go. It just depends. And how many trades do you take is also a question I often get asked. As many as are available. You know, I don't take trades based on any particular number or anything like that. If I see a trade, I take it. Generally, on average, you'll have about 2 or 3 trades, maybe 5 trades on the go. It's very unusual to have a lot of trades on the go. But when that happens, it's because the market's moving in a certain direction and you want to just grab what you can and you've got the money to do it, you do it. And I normally take it on different platforms as well, which is also a thing. The Banner Tracer says, so you're a position trader now. A position trader is what we are. If you're trading on the 4 hour, if you're trading on the 1 hour, if you're trading on the day charts, it's position trading. Everybody, the youngsters these days call it swing trading, but swing trading, it's not. When we grew up, swing trading was a thing where you buy, and then when it gets to a certain point, you turn the trade around and sell. That's swing trading. You never get out of the trade. You buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Normally trading on 1 or 2 products. These days, people use this term swing trading loosely, and they use it as a term for position trading or for trading higher time frames. That's not it. That's not what swing trading actually is. What trading on higher time frames is or using the strategy that we use. In other words, we choose where our stop loss is going to be. We choose where our take profit is going to be, and we position the trade. It is therefore called position trading. You've positioned it, you walk away, you leave it. It's a position trade. It's positioned. Okay. Random coding channel. Hi, Rob. I'm using the COT index. What do you think about it? I've never used it. I don't use it. It's tracking your trade. I've never tried it. So you tell me what you think about it. I've never used it. It's another indicator or tracker or whatever. I've never used it. Can you talk about how to get past fear in the market? How to let it go, take profits. How to get past fear in the market? How to let it go and take profits? Yeah. Yeah. Fear. I'm just thinking about what I can say to you about fear. I've said so much about it. Can you talk about how to get past fear in the markets? You know, I can't tell you how to get past it because everyone has got some level of fear somewhere down the line. It's built in. And it's built in to protect us, actually, as human beings. We're built that way. I don't know how we were made and how we were put together and who decided that that's our defense mechanism, but fear is effectively our defense mechanism. I mean, you've heard of fight or flight. Either you fight your way out of the situation or you run like hell because you got better tackies than your mate when the dinosaur's chasing you or the lion. So that fear is built into you to preserve you, to save you. But it's a real pain because it also hurts. It's a problem. Now, fear in our modern age has become part of our well-being, in the sense of the fear of loss, the fear of losing everything, the fear of losing large sums of money, large amounts of material things. So the fear of losing material things becomes a big thing in our minds. How do we get around that? The only way to do it is to be as objective as possible. So you have to teach yourself that the fear is always going to be there. So the first thing you've got to do is when you're taking a trade, you've got to look at how much money am I comfortable losing on any particular trade. So say, for example, you're not comfortable losing $250. You can't walk away from the screen if you've got $250 at risk. You can't go and sleep at night if you've got $250 at risk, because for some other unearthly reason, it's a lot of money to you. So then what you've got to do is say, well, I can't really sleep comfortably losing $250. Let me try 125. Am I comfortable with that? Am I sweating? Am I shaking? Am I worried about it? And find a level that you're comfortable with, even if it's $1. Find a level that you're comfortable with. Once you find the level that you are comfortable losing, that you can say, if I lose that, I'll accept it. It's okay. Once you've found that level, then what you've got to do is teach yourself that you are going to lose. Now, what I make myself comfortable with is understanding that over a period of 10 trades, while you can lose all 10, you shouldn't. Okay? So what I make myself comfortable with is I'm going to take losses. I understand this. I'm going to take losses. And in amongst that, I'm comfortable losing that amount on every single trade, knowing that when I take wins, I'm going to try and make as close to double that as possible. So I know that I'm looking over a bigger picture, and that helps me to reduce the fear. That helps me to say, I know I'm going to take those losses, but I know I'm also going to take those wins, and that's going to cover those losses. Because inevitably, with fear comes the first few trades that you take, lose. So if you've got a run of trades that you want to take, and you start trading, and the first one will lose, the second one will lose, the third one, by the time you get to the fourth one, your nerves are shot because you just keep losing. And then they start winning again, and it comes back. It's the ability to understand that you're losing, and also trade within your means. If you're going to be a high stakes trader, make sure you can handle those high stakes, because if you can't trade, because it clouds over your judgment, and it clouds over your judgment rather badly. It really, really, really does. It clouds over big time. So, losing can be painful, extremely painful. And the amount of mistakes that you will make when you are in a painful loss, it quadruples in comparison to when you're in a profit or when things are just going quietly. So that's why I say be careful of how much risk you put on every single trade. Be very careful of that, because that's That's your downfall. Your biggest downfall is making the trade too big and then finding out that you're sweating. Look, as a complete beginner, if you started trading for the first time tomorrow and you'd never put real money in the market, if this is your first day and you go out there and you put $10 in the market, believe me, it's going to get your heart racing. It's going to drive you insane, and losing $1 will be extremely painful because you're not used to that scenario. You're not used to that picture. But if you've been trading for a while and you've lost some money and you've put some money in and so on, or you've made some money, whatever the case, then you'll find it more comfortable. And at that point, you can start to judge where the pain threshold is on your losses. So what I recommend when it comes to choosing your amount is once you've found that pain threshold, then keep it there for as long as you can, and don't increase it after a few quick wins. Be careful of this, because let's say you have 5 wins in a row and you have a good run, and you've got your stop loss at $100, and you're comfortable with that, and you say, well, I'm winning all the time, so I'm going to increase my loss to 200 now. You know what's going to happen in the very next trade? You're going to lose that 200. So what I recommend, well, I don't recommend anything, do I? Well, what I would do is say, I've chosen $100 as my threshold. That's where I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable losing $100 per trade. And keep it there, keep it there, keep it there. Even if you're winning, just keep it there. And then reevaluate it. Say to yourself, every 3 months, I'm going to reevaluate my situation and see if you can increase it. And if you're comfortable losing that amount of money, do it that way. And then gradually pick it up as you go. But obviously, my feeling is keep it at 1% of your account. If you want to go 2%, you can. You might be at 0.5% of your account. It all depends. And what size of account do you want to have, or can you have? So, like I say, you've got to become comfortable with that total loss amount. That's the important part on fear. So it took me a moment to think how I'm going to describe fear to you, but that's the best way to describe it, I suppose. Can't quite think of a better way to describe it to you. Oh, okay. Good. So the random coding channel, do you want to tell us more about your COT index and how it plays out and how it works and whatnot? Like I say, I've never tried using it. To be fair, I just keep things simple and I don't get too complicated about things when it comes to stuff like that. Yeah, FM, I hope that helps you. I hope that gives you a little bit of insight. And Elaine's patiently waiting for her turn to win, by the way. Elaine, I'm sure you'll win. It'll come. It'll definitely come. Yeah, I know about it. I've just never used it, ever. It's if it's working, yeah. Okay. You don't know if it's actually working yet. Give it a look. I've never taken the time to give it a look. I know of it, I know about it, but it's one of the few that I've never really played my hand into or looked at or done anything with. So let me know. Let me know how it goes. Geez, just when you think you've done just about everything in the market and tried everything, somebody's trying something different. Herc, hey Rob, are you at that point in trading where you can take consistent losses? Do you still experience long periods of drawdown? How often has this occurred on your trading journey? and how did you react? That's an excellent, excellent question, Herc. You know, one of the most painful things is losing. But even more painful than losing is losing on a streak. You know, a winning streak gives you that euphoria, that serious winning euphoria, that feeling of great. A losing streak can really, really pull you down. It can pull you down quite seriously. But I don't want to get too philosophical here, but the way I handle it, and it has happened a few times, I've had actual losing years, okay? Where you go through the whole year, you come out at the end of the year and you've actually made a loss. I mean, that's insane. That's a losing streak of note. And it happens because the market is what it is. And you have to accept that. But then you have euphoric years where things go insanely well and you make a lot of money. Now, it's easier to take a loss when you've got some banked, let's say, a cushion. You've created a cushion. It's much more difficult to take a loss when you're starting out. So in the real beginning, when you take losses, that's the most painful because you don't have that cushion. But if you've been trading for a number of years and you've built a cushion, you can afford to take a bit of a loss. So your mentality or your psychology around that is a little bit easier. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. I've been doing this for 33 years. So there's a bit of a cushion, okay? But in along that period, there's been some times of strife and times of loss and times of pain and times of, and when you're losing, you must remember that you have people to answer to, people to, deal with and that sort of thing. And that's also quite difficult. And people are asking you what's happening and you're like, well, things aren't going well. The way I find the best way to get around it is when that happens is to, I mean, this may sound really stupid, but the only way to do it is to always remain positive. So in my life, I do not think about negative things. If negative things come into my life, I push them out of my life and I replace them with a positive note, whichever way. So even if a person is being negative towards me, I will try and turn it into a positive one way or another. So it's a bit like trying to have a thick skin and always thinking about the positive. It'll always work out better. And if something happens, I learn from it. I try and figure out, why is that happening? Why is this happening? Because everything that happens, I believe, is a result. If anything happens, I don't blame somebody else for it. I don't blame a system for it. I don't blame anything else for it. I blame myself. I say, if that happened, it's something that I did. Something I did that may have reacted to cause that. So I need to fix it. So I look for the positive and I look for a way to fix it. That's how I handle those types of scenarios. And it's basic life. You know what I mean? It's basic in life with everything. We all make mistakes and we have to learn from the mistakes, but you have to understand that it's not somebody else's fault that mistake occurred. It's yours. You are responsible for everything that happens. So you need to take it on board and say, why did this happen? Is it because Rob showed me that and it went completely wrong? Or is it because I did something wrong? You've got to look at that. And the only way you can improve is to always remain positive. Don't think about negative things. Like things that go wrong on the news and, all this bad stuff that you watch. They say that you shouldn't wake up early in the morning and first thing and start watching negative news and stuff like that because it affects your whole day. And I agree with that. Get up in the morning, make your bed, do things right, and stay positive. Always stay positive. I hear people complaining about the weather. Like, it's so terrible. It's raining. I love it. I'm like, this is a beautiful day. It's raining. It's fantastic. What a beautiful thing. Smell the air. It's great. The sea. Other people are crying about it. I don't understand it. Why be negative? Be positive. Always be positive. So that's how I handle my losing streaks. I handle them with positivity. I look at Well, here's a problem. And as I've told you guys before, if I take 3 losses in a row, I literally stop trading for that day, sometimes for that week. And I'll say, I'm doing something wrong. I need to figure out what that is. And it's usually your mind. It's usually up here that's going a bit pear-shaped. You just need to fix that. And it'll be okay. Cheers, Random Kona channel. Hopefully your tires are not too expensive. Do you have a Ferrari? It's going to be expensive. Those are expensive. You don't want to buy those. Okay, just kidding. Mind you, 4x4 tires are not much cheaper, are they? Don't you just hate spending money on things like that? Yeah, it's not like you're buying sweets. It's like, oh, I need tires, damn it. Yeah, no, totally. Even petrol feels less painful than tires. Gotta say, that's for sure. Yeah. It's been a fine live show. Somebody won the challenge. That's fantastic. Love it when that happens. It's always good. If anybody else wants those funded accounts, I did leave links in the description for you guys. By the way, there is a free Forex book as well if anybody wants to read it or look at it. I didn't write it, it's somebody else. And then, yeah. I hope you guys, those that are not members, I give out the trade of the day every day as well. Yeah, I'm not going to buy anything else. I think the US 500 looks like it wants to go down. It looks like it's actually going to go down. There must be some terribly bad news out there, otherwise it wouldn't be going down. People must be kind of upset. But I don't want to play into this because it just keeps, the news just keeps changing every 5 minutes. So I'm just leaving that alone. I'll buy it when it gets to a good point, and things settle down and the dust settles. The JAP 225, I'm leaving the short on it. So yeah, it is short. So what can I say? We'll just wait and see what happens with that as well. Germany 30, I was going to call it as well, but it's just about the same as the S&P 500. But there you go. For you guys that want to trade, the DAX looks like a short as well. It looks like it's breaking through here. Looks like it's breaking through this level and heading on down. So that looks like a reasonable short. I actually think I called it as trade of the day today. DAX short. I can't remember, did I? Do I have it here? No, I don't. See it. Pretty sure I called it as trade of the day this morning. Okay. African Flight Star, greetings from another Safa in the USA. I appreciate your advice. Good to have another one of you guys on board. There's not many of us South Africans around. We're few and far between. We're not like America that's got 330 million people. We've only got, I think, max 60 million. And of those, like 50 million are unemployed. What a country. Wow, we're in trouble, man. But I still love it. I love it here. I love Cape Town. I love living in South Africa. Grew up here. Spent my whole life here, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, it's a difficult world we live in, isn't it? Maybe that's why I'm a trader all those years. I can make my money overseas. I don't have to rely on working in South Africa. Yeah, I'm glad the advice is helping some of you, and I hope it goes well. So I'm going to let you guys get on with your trading day, and I'm going to head on my merry way. And I want to thank you guys for being here, and I want to thank you guys for sharing it with me. It keeps me busy, and I'm sure it's a help to you guys. It's good for me as well because it improves my mindset and having people around to talk to and whatnot. Well, you're not talking to me, but I'm talking to you. You're chatting on the on the page there, but yeah, it's great for me as well. It's actually great. Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I think the market's still a bit unsure of the environment. I know you want to dive in and take a short in the US 500, and you can, and manage the risk and that sort of thing. and the DAX as well. Not a bad idea. But just keep one eye on the fundamentals. Just keep one eye on those geopolitics, because they seem to be changing quite regularly. And there seems to be quite a lot of risk. And now there seems to be risk of the US getting involved in all that as well. So it could really, really affect your trading. So guys, I want to thank you. And I'm going to see you guys soon again. Tuesday, we got the next live show at 1100 GMT +2. Don't forget to watch all the lacquer videos that I bring out for you. And if you guys are unsure of anything, have a look through my video list. There's bound to be a video there that's going to show you about the system and how to work with it and that sort of thing. So thanks, guys. Thanks for being on the channel. Thanks for being subscribed. And I hope you've all liked the live stream, because I don't normally ask. Normally you guys ask for me, but I thought I'll ask today, if you don't mind. Thanks, guys. Chat soon. Cheers. Ciao. Don't forget, keep